Welcome back, guys. This is lesson 2 of our HTML course. Okay, so quickly I'm going to open our notepad, but before doing that, here these are the two topics we are covering in the lesson. We are going to be covering the heading section and that of the paragraph in HTML. We are going to be discussing heading and paragraph in HTML. So firstly, I'm going to open notepad quickly and then demonstrate what I'm saying. You can check in the video description to read on heading and read on paragraph as well. So I'm going to open this folder here, and then you see this file. I'm going to open this file with notepad. Okay, I'm going to open it with notepad. Choose another app. Gonna open it with notepad quickly. This is notepad. Open it with notepad. Okay, this is our lesson 1. Actually, I've opened it with notepad because I want to copy this code from here. Okay, all of the code we have here, I want to copy it quickly. So I'm going to copy it from here, and then we can paste it into our lesson 2 and be very fast because of time. So we don't want to keep ourselves doing one thing over and over and again. So we're going to create a new file now. Create a new tab quickly, and then we'll paste it into the new tab, and then we save this file now as lesson 2. So saving it into our project folder, we say lesson2.html. Good, and then we have saved it already. Okay, so if you go into our project file, you're going to see that. So we're going to get rid of this. So firstly, before doing anything, I want you to understand this. Okay, guys, I'm super excited about the course to made. One thing I want you people to get is that you are actually understanding what we call headings in the lesson. Heading is one of the important elements within HTML. Okay, we have from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 up to H6. Okay, and understanding that, you need to know that the highest the number of the heading, the lower the size of the heading going to be like. So without discussing more about heading, you can check in the description if you want to read more. I have a documentation there that will help you, but the course is fully based on practical. Okay, so let me open the bowl up. And then enlarging my text so that you can be able to see whatsoever we do here. So I'm going to take the quick section and say heading, right? And create our first heading and go and test it out. We say H1. We say H1 heading, okay? In this H1, we're going to name it, we're going to say my story, okay? And then we say HEADING, heading 1, and then we'll close the H1 tag. Good. So what we're going to do is that we use Control S, or we come manually and save it. After saving it, we go and check the browser. Now we see lesson 2 here into our file. Okay, you open our project folder, and then you will find lesson 2. You can open lesson 2 into the browser. Now you seeing this, you seeing here H1 in this identical area is very large, so we are going to get H2 now. We are going to make H2. So H2 now, we get here back to our notepad and then make H2, okay? And then we do this and say H2, close it. We say my story also, my story, and say heading 2, right? And say H2, close. Good. As we save this and head back, remember, each time you make changes to your work, you have to save it, and when you come to the browser, you have to refresh the browser. So I'm going to come right here. The shortcut key is Control arrow for Windows Edge. If you are using Chrome or whatsoever, you can then use F5 on your Windows computer. You're going to do it, but Control arrow will help you much. Right? So I'm going to do it manually. As I refresh it, you see H2. This is H2 heading 2, right? This is heading 2. Heading 2 is much smaller than heading 1. Okay, so like I said, the highest the heading number, the lower font you're going to get, the lower font size you're going to get. But the lower the heading number, the higher font size you're going to get. So let's try heading 3. Let us try heading 3. Now we come down and say H3, right? Close it and say my story. My story and say heading 3. Now we close it and close it quickly. Now and then save our work. After saving our work, we can go and check into our browser. When we refresh our browser, we have heading 3 being much smaller than this. Okay, so you guys are getting the concept, right? So I'm just going to write the rest of them up to heading 6. Okay, I'm going to write everything up to heading 6. So I will say H4 now and say mine. We say mine, my story, heading 4. Heading 4 and write heading 5 also. Okay, and say mine story and say heading 5. So just so we can know what we are actually doing, H5. And come down here and write heading 6 and say H6, which is the last, my story also, and say heading 6. And then close this, A6. So we're going to save this and go and refresh our browser. So we have saved this already, so we can refresh our browser quickly and see what we're going to get. So you see here, everything is just like this. Okay, this is how you see everything. Let me enlarge in my window so that you can see what I'm doing. Let me enlarge in my window so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is H1, this is H2, this is H3, this is H4, H5, and H6. You see here. So like I said, the lowest the heading number is going to be the bigger font. Okay, it's going to increase the font, but the highest the heading number, the font size is actually going to drop. Okay, so we move now to paragraph. In discussing paragraph, so paragraph is normal and is actually known like you usually use paragraph in English alphabet and so forth. But the paragraph tag is actually being represented with the letter P. Okay, so we're going to use the letter P to write our paragraph. So we're going to open our tag and write P and do this closing tag and write P also. And then close this. Okay, so with this that we have now, we can write our paragraph in here. We say the day after yesterday is today, and I'm coding, for the future. Okay, so we're just going to keep it like this. Okay, and I'm coding for the future. So this just a random sentence. Okay, do not get it stuck into your head. Okay, you can use any sentence of your choice, you can use any paragraph of your choice. Okay, it's just a random something I'm taking off my head. So we're going to head back to our browser. After saving it, we head back to our browser and see how the paragraph is actually like. Now this is our paragraph section. Let me reduce the page so that you can see. So this is our paragraph here. There's our paragraph here. So what we are going to do now, we're going to mix up heading and paragraph and see how can they be used within the web page. Okay, we're going to mix up heading and paragraph and see how they can be used in the web page. So we are going to keep this code up here. We're going to keep the code up here and use the horizontal ruler, which is the H arrow here, just like that. It doesn't have any closing tag. Okay, let me reduce my window so you can see what I'm doing here. So This each arrow here is actually a horizontal rule. It's where a horizontal line going to appear into the browser. Okay, that's a horizontal rule. So the next thing we're going to do, I just want to have a line under what we did, and then we see how best we can get this thing done down here. So I'm going to write a short story, and this short story I'm going to have a topic, and I'm going to have a subtopic, and I'm going to have my first paragraph and my second paragraph. Okay, so let's do it like this. So we say H1. So we're going to say heading 1, H1, and say short short story. Okay, and say H1 and close it. And then come down here and write our first paragraph. Okay, and in our first paragraph, we're going to say this is the way we see the the earth earth like a round ball. Okay, so now outside of this, we're going to have our subtopic. So our subtopic is actually going to be our h3. Let's use h3 or h2. We can use h2 besides. So we're going to have h2 as our subtopic. Close there and have h2. And now we can say this is subtopic. Subtopic, okay? This is subtopic. And then we say the earth is more round like a ball. To live in the earth, you will have to eat and you will have to eat period. Okay, so close this quickly and say h2 and save this our code and go back into our code editor quickly. So come back into our code editor and refresh the browser. So as we refresh the browser, we can see we have our topic here, we have our subtopic. Okay, we have these two things, we have our topic and subtopic. So now you see, so we use paragraph to give supporting information about our topic, and we use uh H2 here as subtopic, we use H1, and we use paragraph to tell more about our topic also. So guys, this is about HTML headings and paragraph. Okay, so we are just using these tags. In later or further, we are going to be discussing other things. Okay guys, if you are not seeing my face currently into the video, I'm sorry, this is the issue in my country. We just have a power shortage or whatever. The light just go off. So this is the issue in my country. So wherever you are, you're not seeing me currently, please just follow whatsoever is on the screen and make sure that you do accordingly. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll see you into the next video. Once again, do not forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.